Welcome to the 2026 McMaster Alumni Travel Showcase. I am Jessica Lounsbury, Alumni Officer, Lifelong Learning and Alumni Travel in the Office of Alumni Engagement at McMaster University. We are thrilled to have you join us as we explore the exciting travel opportunities available to McMaster alumni, their family, and friends in 2026. We have handpicked 23 unique and unforgettable journeys around the world, each designed for university alumni who love to explore, connect, and experience the world with a sense of pride and community. With every detail thoughtfully arranged, you can focus on what matters most, discovering new places, connecting with fellow travelers, and making lasting memories. When you join a McMaster alumni trip, you get more than just a vacation. You get access to in-demand destinations, the camaraderie of traveling with fellow McMaster alumni, and alumni from other great institutions, peace of mind through organized group travel, and the opportunity to connect with other lifelong learners. These trips are organized by reputable travel providers who we have worked with for several years, some even decades, who specialize in the affinity travel market. A few housekeeping notes before we begin. This presentation is being recorded. A link to the recording, along with contact details for each travel provider, will be shared with all registrants so you can revisit the information or share it with others. After the main presentation, you'll have an opportunity to join the live Q&A session with each travel provider. You'll see 4 buttons at the bottom of your screen, each labeled with a provider's name. Simply click to enter the meeting room, ask your question, and leave when you are ready. Want to visit another room? Just return to the main screen or use the links provided in today's reminder email. These rooms will be open at approximately 1:45 p.m. You can also submit your questions via email to me at jlouns@mcmaster.ca, and we will have them answered for you later via email. Let's get started. We will now see pre-recorded presentations from the 4 different travel providers we work with to outline exciting adventures waiting for you in 2026. Please note, these trips are open to McMaster alumni, their family and friends, and are not exclusive to just McMaster alumni. Some trips may include other travelers from other alumni associations or educational organizations. Today, you will hear from David Gilmore from AHI Travel, Timothy Tung from GLP Worldwide, John Kunkler from Go Hagen and Company, and Justin Peters from Worldwide Quest.
Welcome McMaster University alumni, and thank you for taking the time to join me for this presentation of the many travel opportunities available to you through the association in partnership with AHI Travel. Let's get started. My name is David Gilmore, Vice President Sales at AHI Travel, and I have the distinct pleasure of presenting 7 amazing trips that we've curated. For the next few minutes, we're going to talk about fellowship, about expanding cultural views, about engagement, all sorely needed in the world we live in today. Before we do that, let's take a minute and introduce you to AHI so you know a little bit about your tour operator. AHI is a small group tour operator specializing in educational and cultural tours worldwide. We were established in 1962 as Alumni Holidays Incorporated, and that's where the AHI comes from. And we're honored to be a McMaster Alumni Travel Partner for over 25 years. And what makes AHI a little bit different? Well, first, our tours are not available to the general public. We feature university professors and local experts to communicate personally to like-minded people like you. Also, we believe in providing some choice and flexibility for you, so we build in options within the journey that best fits your interests. Example, you can take a bike ride in the countryside, or perhaps make your own pasta with ingredients from a local farmer. Both sound pretty good to me. Finally, because we charter our own ships and hand-select boutique accommodations, we're able to offer no single supplement on many of our programs. We know this is very valuable for the solo traveler to be able to pay only the face value without the additional fee for their own cabin or their room. And here's a quick look at our departure programs and our dates. You'll see that we only plan trips in the shoulder season when there's less overcrowding and we can secure favorable rates for you. Now, first, let's go to Finland, the Arctic Magnificence. This is a fairly active journey. It's a land program, but you're on ferries and you're also on an inter-country flight. It's priced right at $54.95 per person, and there's 3 nights in Helsinki, 4 nights up in the Lapland Northern Lights Village, and you can see the glass dome huts that you're staying in really up in this village, and hopefully you'll be able to get to see the Northern Lights. As I said, it's fairly active. There is a dog sled ride. There's snowshoeing trek. You do a sauna experience. You visit a great family that raises a reindeer. And you're going up to the Sariselka village, which is a terrific, terrific village up in the northern part of the Lapland area. And here's a quick glance at the day-to-day itinerary. You'll see in there day 4 where you're taking the ferry over to Tallinn, Estonia, which is a UNESCO World Heritage town. And also a quick note, if you would like AHI to go ahead and book your flights for you, our agents can do that for you. That way we track the flights in case there's any changes or challenges, and you'll have an airport greeting and a free transfer when you arrive. Next up, Pleasures of Provence. All right, this is in the south of France. You're seeing 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. This is what we call Unpack Once. You stay all 7 nights in Aix-en-Provence and the same property, and then you explore the region. You see here also the red button, no single supplement for solo travelers, to have your own hotel room and not have to pay that extra fee. A terrific amount of highlights here. This is really going to be full of art, culture, wine, and food. A terrific region in the south of France. Cézanne spent time there. Van Gogh, of course. They spent time in the town of Arles. The day-by-day itinerary, again, really a great region along the south of France there. Along the French Riviera. Next up, Croatia, cruising the Dalmatian coast. You see a picture of the ship there. It's a maximum of only 31 passengers, so this is not your huge cruise ship. You get to pull into very small towns, small ports. It's the MV Infinity. You also spend 3 nights in Zagreb in a 100-year-old hotel there. It's a beautiful 5-star hotel, the best property in Zagreb. In the upper right-hand corner there, you see the waterfalls along Plitvice National Park. Absolutely gorgeous. And yes, that is a jacuzzi that you see on the top of the ship there. It's on the upper deck. Great way to cruise the coast, hang out, relax with your friends. You also get to see the UNESCO heritage sites, Diocletian's Palace that was built in 305, the old city of Dubrovnik, all terrific. All along the coast here, you see all these amazing, fairly small towns and just wonderful, wonderful people that you'll meet along the way. I absolutely loved it. Next up, Dutch waterways. Now this is a river cruise, and if you've never done a river cruise before, this is a great starter. The price is very affordable for what you're getting. You do spend all 7 nights on the Amadeus Cara. Again, no single supplement. The activity mild to moderate because you are getting on and off the ship and visiting some of the small towns. And Amsterdam's canals, you visit Bruges, you go to Antwerp, of course, Gouda, the city of cheese, and really truly charming towns along the waterway. Each day you wake up and it's a new destination. What a great way to travel. And here you see your itinerary day by day. This would change in reverse if you were, depending on which direction the ship is sailing that week. Also, Copenhagen and the coastal treasures. Now, if you want some of the off the beaten path, some of the cozy towns that many people don't really get to visit in Europe, this is a great program for you. Here you see on the right-hand side a couple of the properties that you're staying at. Again, each unique and charming to its destination. A few ferries that are going to take you to some of these islands. You do see some runic stones, some ruins that are there, a few wonderful castles, and again, charming coastal towns. You see that you do move around a little bit more than some of the other programs, but it's worth getting away from the crowds. Apulia, undiscovered Italy. Now this is in the heel of Italy, but you spend all 7 nights in Polignano a Mare, and you really explore the region, which is a little bit more like Greece than it is like Italy. You see these conical houses here on the lower left. On the lower right, you'll see the hotel wherever you're staying, right on the cliffs, over the blue water. Just walk right into town. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful setting. The churches of Matera you visit. Now, Matera is a town that's very hilly, very rocky, so keep that in mind. It's why we list it as active. The towns, many of them don't accommodate walkers or wheelchairs, and but these rustic, great old towns. You go into some of the cave dwellings where some of the people lived for thousands and thousands of years. Obviously, some terrific olive oil, fig, wine tastings. And your itinerary. Again, you stay in one night, you fly into Bari, you stay all 7 nights, in Polignano a Mare, and really deep dive into the region. And finally, Europe's historic rivers, the Main, the Rhine, and the Moselle. This is where you're spending all 9 nights on the Amadeus Star. Again, a great way to cruise the rivers, wake up and explore a new destination each day. You're visiting 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and for all that's packed into this, the price is very, very attractive. No single supplement if you are cruising alone. If you're solo, you're able to have the cabin by yourself, and it's a great way to afford a trip. The Rhine Valley, Cathedral of St. Peter, Moselle wine tasting. You're really going to explore with the local guides and some really great experts and historians in these towns where you're really getting to know an intimate life of the towns. And a quick glance at the day by day. Great. So I've posted here a few ways that you can get some information. You can go to the website, or you can call in to our customer service line. If you have questions, we get it. Almost everybody calls in with some questions, and you're able to book either online or via our customer service agents. We really look forward to seeing you on some of these fantastic curated trips. Great, well enjoy, and we hope to see you soon.
Hi, my name is Timothy Cho, and I'm the Director of Sales and Product Development at GLP Worldwide. We are a proud Canadian tour operator founded in 1999, and we're located in Toronto, Ontario. We provide Canadian dollar pricing for all of our trips, and our trips for the Canadian alumni are highly educational and experiential. They are also escorted by an experienced tour leader, and these trips are all designed for our alumni, where the large majority of people are Canadians. And we have 6 trips for McMaster in 2026. Our first trip is the Brazilian Amazon Adventure, and this is a land and cruise tour. You start in Manaus, the gateway to the Brazilian Amazon, and we travel upstream on the Amazon River to Leticia in Colombia. We do this in comfort on a rustic ship, the MS Jangada, where we charter this for our Canadian alumni. And this is also one of the only options to explore the Amazon without having to camp, as there's very little tourist infrastructure. On this trip, you will travel to 3 countries: Brazil, Peru, and Colombia. Our naturalist guides will explore the Amazon rainforest with us through a series of boat excursions and jungle walks, and you see incredible wildlife such as the pink river dolphin, the Eucarian monkeys, beautiful parrots, and a variety of birds. You have the chance to try piranha fishing, see the meeting of the waters, meet the Tikuna and the Manus tribes, and much, much more. For our next trip, we have Norway and Lapland, and this is a land and cruise tour. We start in Oslo, the capital of Norway, one of my favorite places in the world. We're going to travel by rail from Oslo to Bergen on the Flamrail, which is one of the most beautiful journeys in the world. We're going to board the Hurtigruten MS Polaris, a small ship, and sail up the coast of Norway, and you're going to see charming towns like Ålesund. You're going to sail into beautiful fjords. We're going to cross the Arctic Circle together and stand at the tip of the North Cape. We'll have interesting lectures where you learn all about Norway. We're going to visit Lapland, home to the indigenous people, and before ending in Helsinki, the capital of Finland. Our third trip is our golf cruise on the Danube, and that's a land and cruise tour starting at $6,980 for golfers, and that includes 4 golf games at some of the top golf courses in Europe. For non-golfers, it starts at $5,680. We start in Budapest, where we tour the capital of Hungary for a couple of days before boarding the Amadeus Amara, and that's a brand new 5-star ship. We're going to sail along the Danube, visiting 4 countries: Hungary, Slovakia, Austria, and Germany. Golfers will get a chance to play at top golf courses like the Pananoia Golf Club, which hosted the Hungarian Open, the Penati Golf Club in Slovakia, which has Central Europe's longest hole of 778 yards. Then there's the Fontana Golf Club, which hosted the Austrian Open, and then the Beckenbauer Golf Course, which hosted the Porsche European Tour. For non-golfers, we have included for you daily excursions so you can experience the cities along the way while your partner or your friend or your family are golfing. You're going to see the old town of Bratislava, you're going to experience Vienna's imperial elegance, and you're going to tour the Melk Abbey, one of the most magnificent monastic buildings in Europe. Our fourth trip is our Hong Kong Wine and Dine program. And this is our featured culinary trip where you experience specialty dining and attractions in Hong Kong. We've partnered with Master Chef Judge Alvin Leung to deliver a 2-star Michelin dining experience at his Beau Innovation restaurant, and you get a chance to meet Alvin in person. We have a specialty seafood restaurant at Lei Yun Moon. There's also VIP entrance to the Wine and Dine Festival in Hong Kong. There's an exclusive horse racing experience and much, much more. You're also going to go in comfort, flying premium economy and staying at a 5-star hotel. We focus on flexibility, so we provide you a Go City Pass to explore on your own. We also give you some options to extend the trip to other countries in Asia if you want. Picture yourself standing on the edge of the Ngorongoro crater, witnessing thousands of wildebeest thunder across the Serengeti during the Great Migration. And that's one of nature's most spectacular events. I hereby invite you to join an unforgettable journey through Kenya and Tanzania. Over 14 days, you're going to explore legendary parks like the Serengeti, the Tarangire, and the Amboseli, where lions, elephants, zebras, giraffes, they all roam freely. You're going to stay in elegant lodges and luxury safari camps, visit inspiring conservation sites in Nairobi. You're going to connect with the vibrant traditions of the Maasai people. And for those seeking even more, we offer an optional pre-tour to the stunning Cape Town in South Africa. This is not just a trip. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience into the heart of East Africa during its best season. I'm excited to share with you our last trip, Wonders of Colombia. It's a 16-day experience designed exclusively for our alumni community. This adventure takes you from the vibrant streets of Medellin and Cartagena to the peaceful beauty of Colombia's countryside and its riverbanks. You're going to climb the stunning El Penil Rock in Guatape. You're going to stroll through the colorful historic towns and sip fresh coffee right at the source. Then we slow things down a notch with a 7-night luxury cruise on the Magdalena River aboard the Ama Melodia. And here you're going to have live jazz, cumbia performances, floating villages, and incredible wildlife. Finally, we wrap up in Bogota with iconic sites like the Salt Cathedral and the legendary Guatavita Lagoon tied to the El Dorado myth. It's a rich mix of culture, of history, of nature, and connection, all shared with fellow alumni. Space is limited, so if this sounds like your kind of adventure, we're going to love to have you with us. I hope you're excited about our 2026 trips, and hopefully you found the trip for you next year. If you're excited about this, if you're interested to join us, let us know, and here is our contact information.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Kunkler, and I'm here representing Gohagen & Company. We are longtime partners with McMaster, going back as far as I can see in the digital record, which is over 10 years, but probably longer because as a company, Alumni Travel, we've been in business for over 40 years, but not me. I'm new, just about a year with Gohagen. And so this is my first travel showcase with McMaster. And the first thing that I was asked to share with you today is a little bit about who we are and what we do. One is these are trips all over the world. They are on small cruise ships, river boats, and some are land or hotel programs. When I say small ship, I mean around 200 passengers all the way down to around 20 passengers. And then if you think of, if someone were to ask me what are the main characteristics or pillars of the sort of travel that we focus on, I think of those keywords you see on the screen. Exclusive means that we are fully chartering these cruise ships and river boats so that our programs are not available to the public and they're exclusive just to our alumni clients. And then the educational experiential piece is really the reason why we're fully chartering. It allows us to take over the itinerary, build our own excursions and experiences that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And again, not available to the public kind of programs just for our alums. And then the excellence and easy part is really that third pillar, if I'm thinking of these things. And that's in terms of the selection of our ships and hotels tends toward the luxurious side of things, and then we provide that high-touch concierge service that goes along with that kind of travel. We don't want you to unpack and repack a lot, and we want everything to be easy and luxurious for you. And next thing I want to do is share with you some of your opportunities to travel with us in 2026. All right, we've got 4 programs with McMaster, each in a different place in the world. and each unique. This one is the Galapagos Islands. We're going to go in order in time, and so this one is your first one here in January, and that is an excellent time to be in the Galapagos Islands. If you happen to be in Canada right now, then you know that it might be nice in January to get away somewhere where it's summer during January. And then also the Galapagos, of course, this trip is going to be about the nature and the science. There's naturalist guides on this. On a safari, they talk about the big 5 animals you'll see. Well, in the Galapagos, it's the big 15. So there's all kinds of cool things to experience on that side. But also in this area in January, it's going to be that Caribbean vacation feel, beautiful weather, beautiful water, snorkeling and glass bottom boat rides, and these kind of cool things that are part of that make a nice vacation during this time period. All right, let's take a quick look. And we've got some examples of the big 15 here, marine iguanas, the giant tortoises. You'll have a chance to have an experience with the giant tortoises while you're there. So some incredible wildlife. That's part of the journey. All right, I'll just touch on this one time because it's really typical to all of our programs with slight variation for our land programs. But with Go Hagen, all of your excursions are going to be included. And you'll see there's really something going on every day on the Galapagos Islands. That's pretty typical, available to everyone. And then also sometimes there are traveler's choice excursions where you can select what you want to do that day. Internal air included here. And then we run all-inclusive programs. So most of your meals, beverages, receptions, liquor, wine, beer, minibar service, all included on the ship. All right, so just a quick overview of the itinerary on this one. We begin with 2 nights at the beautiful Swiss Hotel Quito and some wonderful explorations in Quito, Ecuador, the middle of the earth. And then the heart of the tour, 6 nights, of course, on the 48-passenger La Pinta, seeing 7 islands. And one cool thing is getting around to the eastern side of some of these islands, which is rare on itineraries in the Galapagos, and it's considered beautiful for the marine life and snorkeling over in that area. And then concluding things on day 9 at the Guayaquil, at the Hilton Guayaquil Hotel. So really the only reason I included this slide is I wanted to show you a picture of the beautiful Floriana Island. It's so unique. The beaches there, the sand is green. It's an olivine crystal sand, and you'll get to experience that on the trip. Something very cool and unique. Oh man, maybe I'll say this every time, but I love this picture too. This is just one of those special places, I think, in the world. The Rivieras of France and Italy. This is a luxury sailing voyage, 10 days for this one. We're moving into October. It's a wonderful time to be there in terms of the weather and in terms of the crowds. So it's not a busy time for there, and it can get very busy in the summer in this area. So we're always trying to choose the best time as well for our travelers, and this is a great time. McMaster, Western, and Saskatchewan are the Canadian partners that all have access to this program. And the other thing I think is so cool about this, I mean, if you're going to be on the Rivieras, guys, why not do it on a 148-passenger sailing yacht, the Wind Spirit? And so that's pretty cool. And then this one also includes option for you to add on Barcelona pre-tour and or a Rome post-tour. So you can extend your time with us. And so you get a quick look at that in a moment. Oh my gosh. So as you can see from this list and from the map here, so many wonderful destinations on this sailing tour, and a couple things that are unique and out of the way for a trip like this. There's too much to go into, so definitely check it out and learn more if you want to explore this program. But a couple standouts, one, flying into Barcelona and out of Rome. It makes it easy for flights for you. Getting to Bonifacio in Corsica, France is unique for a tour in this area. Taking a tram ride up, seeing the white cliffs, going to Napoleon's house there. The beautiful coastal town of Elba in Portoferraio, Italy is really unique and quaint. And then a chance to do private boat tours of Cinque Terre and either making pesto or farina pasta in Genoa, your choice. They're also a highlight. Oh, wow, here I'm in the water here. We wouldn't do this trip justice without taking a quick look at the ship. The Wind Spirit, 148 guests and 101 crew, which gives you a sense of the level of service here. But with the smaller ship, sometimes there's the misconception that you don't have some of the same amenities you might get on a larger ship. And really, if you look at the list over there, there's really anything and everything on this ship, from laundry, hair salon, 24-hour room service. There's a fitness center you'll never use, but for yoga, spa and massage, specialty restaurants, of course, the pool and jacuzzi, water sports platform, all these things available to you on the ship that you might see on larger vessels as well. Well, besides getting a few more beautiful views of this vessel, I want to let you know that Windstar shares our commitment to sustainability. So, of course, the sailing vessel is a little more sustainable, but beyond that, they have some things like advanced wastewater treatment, low emission engines. And one thing I think that speaks to the service as well is that the chefs are locally sourcing food whenever they can, and they're serving plated meals to reduce food waste. And of course, you get your own water bottle that you can take home with you, and there are filling stations throughout the ship. So that commitment is there, and that's something cool to know about this. So these are the pre and post tour extensions available on this trip. The thing to note here is that both are on the longer side. So that's great to be able to really make a journey out of this. We have 4 days, 3 nights pre-tour in Barcelona, 3 days, 2 nights post-tour in Rome. The other thing to note about when we do these extensions to places like Barcelona and Rome, we really try to get beyond the basic tourist attractions and see something unique and special as well while we're there. And it's also can be a great value to add extensions to an existing trip. So it's something to check out with this program. For the final 2 programs with McMaster, we move from the sea to the land. The first of the 2 land programs is the charming Cotswolds of England. This is my favorite of our land programs. I think it really exemplifies what we do so well because it's something unique and different, and because we've included here some really special private experiences that make this trip just a very memorable and cool trip that you wouldn't find anywhere else. So let's take a look at what makes this different. And let's start with the basics. It's 9 days, a pretty common length for our land programs, and it's in May, much more likely to have a good weather situation during this time, but still avoiding some of the crowds you might find in summer. We have other Canadian partners that have connected with this trip. And then for our land, they typically run around 32 to 36 guests. And so that's a way for us to keep things more intimate and less crowded feel for you. All right. Well, there's too many experiences to go into on this program. This really is just a glimpse of the few of the things that you'd be able to do. Beautiful Queens Hotel is where you're staying, first class accommodation there. And 2 of my favorites here on this one. One is Dalesford Organic Farm, where you learn about their practices there, get to tour this beautiful spot, but you also get to have an interactive experience where you forage for your own ingredients in their gardens with the help of a tutor, and then they help you cook that into your own lunch from whatever you foraged. Love that. And then the other one that really stands out to me, besides the private tour of Oxford after hours, is the experience at 400-year-old mansion Chauvenage House. You get a private tour with the owners of the home, a member of the family there, and after the tour you get to sit down and have afternoon tea and snacks with them and a member of the staff, a chance to ask them questions and learn more about it. Final program I'd like to share with you today is called Iceland and the Northern Lights. This is another land program, also 9 days. This one's in October. It's a great time to be there and see those Northern Lights. And also 36 guests for this, so keeping it small and comfortable for the group. One thing that stands out about this program to me is that there will be 2 featured guests on it for 2026, and you'll get a chance in a moment to learn about who those guests are, as well as some of the wonderful things that you'll be doing on the program. With this land program, you have 2 different accommodations that you'll be in. Both are beautiful Kia properties. 3 nights to begin at the Hotel Borg in Reykjavik, 3 nights in Akureyri at the Kia Hotel there as well. And you see an example of a room. You're back at the Hotel Borg on the right there for one final night in your program. And like our Cotswolds program, you see the pacing here is really nice, a little more relaxed than some land programs you might see. Just 2 hotels across 9 days. So I think that's a great feature here. Couple highlights with Iceland. You'll have an experience in Reykjavik at a museum there with a great observation deck and a chance to see some natural history and a beautiful view of the city. You'll be looking at a lot of things in that golden circle, so national parks, incredible waterfalls, these incredible volcanic otherworldly landscapes, but then also getting to fishing villages and having some cool experiences with locals in the area here. Too many cool experiences to go through, but a couple highlights. Again, that cultural connection, and so there's a farm to table experience, literally with Farmer Johan and his wife, and a great meal there, and checking out the grounds of their farm. The other one I think that's cool, it's along those lines, is a visit to these greenhouses and stables from this family there in Iceland, and getting to connect with them. And then, of course, you're going to be hunting the Northern Lights during a great time to see them, and you'll do that with a couple of experts. So the two featured guests here, I won't try the names, but one, a climate science policy expert for the Icelandic Ministry for the Environment, Energy and Climate, advisor on Game of Thrones. That's kind of fun too. And then also a best-selling author of Iceland at Night, Your Guide to the Northern Lights. And so they're going to connect you with a lot of these natural experiences, the golden circle of all the things you'll see, these ethereal, otherworldly landscapes, and plus viewing the Northern Lights. So something to check out on Iceland. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for joining me on this. And I'll be available if you have questions. Always opportunities to learn more about these trips from McMaster. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Justin, and I'm with Worldwide Quest, and we are a small travel company based in Toronto. And since 1970, we've been offering small group educational travel on all 7 continents, and this is both land tours and expedition cruises. For about 15 years, we've been working with the Canadian University alumni community to offer tours that are geared to the interests of alumni travelers. Notably, one of the features we like to showcase on our tours is our tour leaders. We select our tour leaders on our alumni tours who are drawn from the university community itself. So they're very often distinguished faculty or alumni who have done work in the place that we're going to, or perhaps that are from there, or both. And our travelers have always told us that they enjoy this element very much because our study leaders are adding special context, giving special insights to the places, and providing another layer of meaning to the tour experience. So a tour that I'm particularly looking forward to is our trip to Madagascar in November of 2026. Madagascar is a large island off the east coast of Africa in the Indian Ocean, and it's maybe most famously known as a living laboratory of evolution because its wildlife is testament to really how different of a track Madagascar has taken from Africa since the two separated millions of years ago. So we have the lemurs, for which Madagascar is most famous. There are dozens of species of lemurs in different places in the country. We have a huge variety of chameleons and birds and plants that are found nowhere else on Earth. So in this trip, we're going to be visiting 3 different parts of the country, 3 different habitats. And in fact, I think the habitats are maybe one of the most interesting elements of this trip because they're so different from each other. We have so much variety between them, but they're also different from anywhere else you can visit on Earth. For example, in the spiny forests of the Southwest, which are arid habitats, you have these huge baobabs, which are just incredible in their forms. You have this tree that's called the octopus tree, which looks like trunks armed with long thorns like this. It's nothing you'd want to touch or run into, but it's a visually fascinating voyage. So the wildlife is just so interesting. We're also really pleased with our study leader. Our study leader on this tour is Dan Riskin, who is well known as a biologist and a television personality. He served for years on Daily Planet on the Discovery Channel. And he's also most recently a science correspondent with CTV News. And as a biologist, he's fascinated with wildlife and evolution wherever he travels. So this trip is a chance to travel with Dan and see the country through a biologist's eyes and appreciate the finer layers of evolution that you can experience there. Madagascar is also fascinating culturally, and as we visit different parts of Madagascar. You'll have a chance to meet and interact with the people of Madagascar, the Malagasy people, and learn more about them as well. So we'll hope you join us in Madagascar in November of 2026. Hi, this is Justin again, and now I'd like to tell you in more detail about the variety of tours we're offering to McMaster alumni travelers. And of course, I've mentioned Madagascar. Madagascar is a fascinating, once-in-a-lifetime destination with a huge variety of diversified wildlife, especially the lemurs and the chameleons, and much more. And not only that, it has a variety of habitats, from rainforest to dry scrub to rocky outcrops like you can see right here across a vast territory. Our trip, of course, in November of 2026 is at the advent of the spring season of the rains, when things are just starting to green up and wildlife is becoming more active. And our trip is, of course, because Madagascar is a large island, we are going to different parts of the country. Part of it will be going by road and partly by air. We start in the capitals of Tana, which is a short form for Antananarivo, and we'll be starting initially to the east into the rainforest regions along the Indian Ocean coast, before we return to Tana and fly to the more arid southwest and explore a couple of different regions there. So it's a large country. I would say it has surprisingly appealing and interesting accommodations as well. So we think you'll be particularly pleased and surprised with those. And this is a wonderful journey for all of the senses, also intellectually. I should mention that the study leader for the tour is Dan Riskin, a well-known Canadian biologist and television broadcaster who is fascinated with all forms of life, and he'll be bringing his special interest in evolution to this trip and provide you with that additional context to the wildlife you'll be seeing. In addition, you will be experiencing the varied cultural landscapes of Madagascar. So we hope you join us in November of 26. The next trip I wanted to speak to you about, speaking of wildlife, is a great trip for families. It is a trip to Churchill, Manitoba for families. What we mean by this is, if you are looking for a trip for your family, your children, and perhaps your grandchildren, this is a perfect opportunity for you to discover a signature region of Canada together in the summertime. So Churchill is well known as the polar bear capital of the world, and polar bears will be in the area, so it's a great chance to see them. As well, this is a perfect time to see beluga whales, which are spending the summer near the mouth of the Churchill River. We can see them up close. We can even boat and kayak around them. So there's these forms of wildlife and others, and we're discovering really a great southern reach of the Canadian tundra. So it's a great chance to explore this interesting part of Canada. Our trip begins in Winnipeg, Manitoba, with our meeting there before we fly north to Churchill on the bay, on the coast of Hudson Bay. And our accommodations are the Churchill Northern Study Center, which are really perfectly suited for families because they have bunk-style accommodations in a wonderful state-of-the-art facility located right at the edge of the tundra with views over to Hudson Bay, and with the possibilities at this time of year especially of enjoying not only the Perseid meteor showers, but the return of the northern lights right overhead. So this is the Northern Studies Center right here. Our tour leader on this is Wendy Lacusta, who's accompanied a number of our more remote alumni tours in the past. She's a veteran polar expeditioner, and she will be our host and connecting you with our local resource people who will be providing interpretation of the wildlife experience itself. So we hope you'll consider this trip with your children and grandchildren next August, or August 26th. Our next trip is a trip of great cultural interest, and that is Indonesia. Treasures of Indonesia in October of 2026. Now, Indonesia is a very large country, a very populous country, very diverse as an archipelago. This trip is focusing on Java and Bali, which are really the epicenter of Indonesia, culturally speaking. And on this trip, we'll be discovering the landscapes, the culture, the food, the art, the archaeology. There's so much in this dense region of Indonesia. So we'll be starting in Java, the capital Yogyakarta. We'll be spending several days there doing all sorts of sightseeing with cultural additions, and then going over to the more quiet Bali, where we can have a more contemplative stay, but Bali is interesting because it's so different from Java as well. So you're discovering the diversity of the country, even just between these two islands. And it's a special trip from a learning side because our study leader, Paulus Ward, is an expert on East Asian art and culture. She's led many tourists to East and Southeast Asia, and will provide that special context and special insights into these regions for you. So it's really a full experience of these two regions. We'll hope you join us for a very exotic trip in October of 2026. Our next trip is a return trip, a very popular trip with our alumni travelers, the Portuguese Coastal Camino. We've all heard of the Camino de Santiago. There are different ways to reach the city of Santiago de Compostela, which is the red dot on this map here. That's the end of the road for the Camino. This particular track, the Portuguese Coastal Camino, is the quieter side, the quieter route to Santiago de Compostela, following the coast of Portugal and then Spain from the south in Porto to the north. And because of the scenery, of course, you'll be enjoying, because of the seaside rather, you'll be enjoying wonderful scenery and be walking through wonderful, quaint towns and countryside while keeping active. This is a supported walk, which means you are bringing just what you need for each day's walk. We might be walking between 8 and 15 kilometers or so per day. The things you don't need are conveyed for you by vehicle from one place to the next. So it's a great way, it's a more leisurely way to take a walking tour. And of course, you have the great culinary experience in Portugal and Spain as well. We will be selecting a wellness leader for this trip, someone who will prepare you for the tour in advance and who will be there along with you to help you prepare for each day's excursions as well. So consider this trip if you like a culturally interesting and active holiday in October of 26. Speaking of October 26, we have another tour, an African safari in a very different country of Africa, Namibia. Namibia is a large country in southwestern Africa, which is also one of the least populated countries and also the most arid country south of the Sahara. So it's a country where you can experience wildlife that you imagine as being quintessentially African, like lions and giraffes and elephants and zebras, but on a very different backdrop. So you'll have sand dunes and vast expanses of desert and places that look like the moon. And yet you'll enjoy an African safari experience as well. So culturally, it's a very distinctive country as well because it has indigenous elements as well as a South African influence and a very strong German influence from the time that it was German Southwest Africa. And so this trip to Namibia, starting in Windhoek, the capital at the center, will take us on a clockwise fashion down south to a place of great sand dunes. Probably you've seen photos of these dunes in the past. We'll go up along this famous skeleton coast and back into the interior of the country, Etosha National Park, a very famous safari location, before coming down to Windhoek. So it's a great place for a return trip to Africa as well as a first-time visit to Africa. You're going to enjoy it no matter what. And what's very special is our study leader, Dr. Jane Waterman. She's a prof at University of Manitoba, but is a graduate of several Canadian universities, as well as she's done her postdoc as well at other universities. So she's a really interesting person, a really interesting study leader, because she's done field studies on ground squirrels in Namibia over several seasons, and has also taught a field course on African mammals over several seasons as well. So she's actually lived there, and she, along with our local leadership, will provide special insights on the wildlife and much more in this very interesting and eclectic country, I would say. So thank you so much. We at Worldwide Quest hope to welcome you on one of these tours for McMaster Alumni Travelers. Thank you.
That concludes the presentation portion of the showcase. A big thank you to our presenters, David, Timothy, John, and Justin, for giving us a great look at what's ahead for 2026. The Zoom Q&A rooms are now open and will be for the next 30 minutes. Each of our travel providers has a button below. Click on the travel provider you have a question for, and it will take you to a Zoom room where you can ask your trip-specific question. To return, simply exit the Zoom room and re-click on today's presentation link to access the other buttons, or you can leave the webinar. You'll also see a screen shortly that outlines which trips are offered by each travel provider. We hope you're as excited as we are about the incredible destinations and experiences we have planned. You will receive a short survey by email in the next few days. We would really appreciate it if you could take a few minutes to share your thoughts, as your feedback helps us to continue to improve both the showcase and the alumni travel program overall. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks again for joining us, and we can't wait to travel with you soon. Until then, safe travels.